Spring Hill, Tennessee. We got a treat for you today. We have raised bed gardening, no chemicals, all natural from seed. We're going to show you some perennials, some vegetables, and I think you're going to really enjoy it. Blue Victoria Salvia. Jessica Herning, this is wonderful, one of my favorite annuals. The color blue is pretty. Tell me something about your flower bed here.
Well, I do a lot of mixtures of flowers with vegetables because companion planting is important, especially if you're not using pesticides. So I mix a lot of flowers with my vegetables, a lot of marigolds, basil, things that they emit a nice odor that bad bugs don't like and attract good bugs.
So you said it's all natural, no pesticides. What do you mend your soil with in the spring?
Compost.
Compost.
So I do about a 2-inch layer of compost, and I feel like that my beds really like it. I don't have to do any sort of fertilizer afterwards. It's just compost.
Well, they're very happy, that's for sure. I love the pink lantana in front of the blue and then the zinnias behind there. And you have lots of basil. Do you use all this basil?
I do actually. At the end of the season, I'll use it throughout the season, and then at the end, I'll do a big harvest before we have a freeze, and I'll make pesto with it, and then I freeze the pesto, and I have it for all winter long.
Do you do the pesto in ice cube trays, or how do you do it?
No, I do it in little jars,
okay.
and then I freeze the jars in portions that are big enough for our family. We love to have chicken pesto pasta. That's like a mainstay. So. By spring, when it's time to plant, I've nearly run out.
This area is beautiful. Tell me how this evolved. What do you have planted here? Over my head, there's so much to look at. Tell me about it.
Yeah, so 6 years ago, actually right before COVID, my husband and I built this little walled garden, and it's 30 by 50. It started out mostly vegetables and some herbs, and within a couple of years we honed in on what my family eats, and then I only started growing that. So I had a lot of room for flowers. They bring so much joy, so mostly flowers. There's tons of trial and error. I had a lot of failures, but I had a lot of wins. So I think that's, for me, it's been a growing experience where I worked with what worked, and I kept growing that. And then I would add a few things, and sometimes they'd work and sometimes they didn't, but I didn't give up.
Well, it sure is beautiful.
Thank you.
What's going on over our heads here?
This is wisteria. I planted it 6 years ago. They were really tiny plants, and I trained them to grow up and around. This variety, I didn't realize, was the type that takes several years to bloom. So this was the first year it bloomed, and I nearly cried because I was so excited to finally have some purple.
It's gorgeous. And then you have some pretty climbing roses over here with some more yarrow.
I do. The climbing roses, unfortunately, they're not blooming here, but this spring it was magnificent. I had hundreds and hundreds of roses that were light pink and white going across the arbor.
Nice. I love your dahlias. Tell me how this all evolved. I mean, we're surrounded by dahlias, so you must really like them. Do you like cut flowers then, obviously?
I do. I make a lot of cut flower bouquets for myself, for friends, and then I even sell some. So I have over 100 dahlias in this garden alone. So yeah, they're easy to grow. They don't require a lot of water. Usually just with what rainfall we have, that's enough. So that's part of the reason why I love them so much.
Are you digging them up in the fall?
You know, I don't. I leave them in the ground, and so I usually have a 20 to 30% loss, but I like to buy new varieties. So every year I'll buy some new varieties just to see how they turn out.
I want to talk about how you contain your dahlias. Can you explain that to me, how this came to be?
Yes, so dahlias really need to be staked, and with over 100, it can be time consuming for sure to stake them. So I was looking for solutions online, and I saw that someone had used cattle panel, and cattle panel is really rigid. So they made it into this U shape, and they did so by using a 2x4 to bend it and to make it that shape. So I bought a bunch of cattle panel, and then my husband and I had to use a lot of brute force, but we got it the way we wanted, bent it, and it's actually working so well for my dahlias here. I won't have to stake any of these in here. So they just grow right up and through it. And yeah, I'm so pleased.
I love this solution. I see you've incorporated your genius for your zinnias as well.
Yes, zinnias, they also can sometimes need to be staked, especially when they get tall. And here in this bed, we get tons of sun, and so they'll reach heights that are a couple of feet above the fence. So I think this cattle panel will do really well in keeping them stabilized. So this is the first year, we'll see, but so far so good, I think.
And then we have a real pretty yarrow here.
Yes, I love yarrow. It's a perennial, and so it comes back. So when you plant it, it'll come back and it'll spread, and it makes beautiful cut flowers for an arrangement. They're beautiful filler flowers. So
it dries well.
It does dry well, and I believe it's medicinal.
It is. I can't believe it. I see a calla lily in the middle of everything else. How did that come to be?
That was part of a few of them that I planted several years ago. And I mean, even though it's perennial, you never know what's going to come back. So sometimes I'll have little surprises here and there in the garden.
That one's pretty. I like that.
Thank
kind
you.
of bloody purple, I guess. I don't know what color you call that. It's gorgeous. And then right here in front of me is?
This is hibiscus, Rose of Sharon. So this was actually one of the things I planted the first year, so it's 6 years old now. I had no idea how big it'd get, but I do love it. It's a showstopper, and I have it in both corners of the garden.
And the bees love it.
They do, they do.
I noticed this beautiful rose. Tell me why you like it and how much you love it.
So this rose I chose, it was just one of the many that I chose on a trip to the store one day. And as it blooms, it fades from this orange to a light pink, and it's quickly become actually my favorite flower in the garden, which I'm not an orange person. I don't love it. But I think sometimes when you plant things, even things out of your comfort zone, that's a good idea because it can become your favorite.
I want to talk a little bit about your raised beds.
Yeah.
Is there a reason why you chose this height, and what approximately is the height?
It's around 24 inches high, and to be honest, when I was looking at garden plans, I just happened to see these a lot. I have this height, and then I have the shorter, more like 6-inch height out there, and these are definitely much more easy to garden in because there's not as much bending over. The only con is that it requires a lot of soil to fill it up.
Yeah.
But once that's done, I still amend it about the same as the other, about 2 inches a year. So yeah, I love it for what it is.
I noticed more wisteria. Tell me about these.
Well, I learned my lesson with the other variety that I planted in the garden. And so I wanted these doors in this greenhouse to be framed in this wisteria. And so I found one that blooms first year. So this wisteria here is 2 years old, but it's given me blooms since the very beginning. And yeah, I love it.
You've got a beautiful structure in your garden. Can we talk about that?
Yes, let's go see it.
So tell me where we're standing. What is this dwelling?
Well, this is it's sort of like a greenhouse, but it's not technically. But I use this space, my husband and my kids, we use it as a place to hang out. We have dinners out here, we'll have parties out here, and we always have our morning coffee here.
And so how did it transpire? Tell me about the building material you used for this.
There was a lady on Facebook who had windows for $2 each, and I collected them as I went and drew out how big I wanted it, and then once we had all the windows, we started building it.
And I want to talk a little bit about your checkerboard floor here.
Okay.
Tell me about that.
So we first started with pea gravel in the whole floor, but as you know, pea gravel, it shifts a lot, so I found myself with a little bit of an uneven floor most of the time. I looked on Pinterest, and I saw that people had done these concrete blocks with pea gravel, so we went and got some concrete blocks. We kind of shifted the pea gravel around and then made this checkerboard floor. And then to keep the pea gravel in place, we used a mulch glue. So you just spray it on, and it dries pretty solid. And I'd say about maybe it lasts about 18 months or so, and then things start to kind of
I was going to ask
move
if
a
there
little.
was trouble with heaving and stuff in the wintertime.
No. I think that it's just not meant to be permanent. So about every 18 months or so, I'll come and I'll do another like coat on top with a little pump sprayer, and it's super fast. It takes 30 minutes to do the whole greenhouse.
And we've got a beautiful display of your garden flowers here, don't we?
Yes, I picked all of those this morning.
Well, thank you for letting us enjoy them, and it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, tell me about your raspberries away from everything else.
So I planted these raspberries kind of far away from my roses and dahlias because raspberries can be a trap crop. They're really attractive to a lot of bad pests that love flowers. So if you plant raspberries kind of away from your garden, they'll attract those pests, and so they're considered a trap crop. I don't use pesticides, and so I like to try and plant plants that will deter the bad insects.
I love this blue. Veronica?
Yes.
And so you like blues, pinks, you like every color.
I do. My garden has about every color you can have.
Jessica, I want to tell you thank you very much for sharing your gardens and your love of gardening to our viewers. Thank you.
You're welcome.
If you like gardening, you'll want to subscribe to this channel. We showcase gardeners, plants, and the joy that growing can bring.